Hey everybody, it's Chad Husted with Hardware Retailing here with another product rundown video for you. Today we're going to be looking at some pro tools, some tools that we think that the professional tradespeople out there really might either come in handy in their work, make them more efficient, or just something that they didn't know was out there that might be interesting for them. So first off, we have the stud tape measure from Milwaukee Tool, and holding this thing, they are not messing around at Milwaukee Tool. Everything they make is for the professional and designed to live up to those kinds of standards, and this tape measure is living up to that standard as well. So you can tell right here, it's got an extremely thick blade, and the decals on there you can be seen high visibility for those, but it's heavy duty, can be dropped from 80 feet up and still survive. It's got a finger guard here for when you bring the heavy duty blade back in, it protects you. It's 25 foot on the blade, and it has up to 10 feet of standout. So if you're really trying to measure that thing from across the room and really trying to make sure that your tape measure is going to stand up to it, the stud from Milwaukee Tool is probably the way to go. Next up, from a company called Pick Punch, is the Nailed It tool. So this is basically a hammer assist aid, and it has an insert that has a magnetic tip on the end. So a nail, a screw gets put on that. It has different sizes on either side of the enclosure. So larger nails can go on one side, smaller on the other. But essentially, if you have an odd angle, if you just can't reach what you're trying to get to, you insert the nail into the enclosure, and you can hit the larger contact area on the kind of the plunger, and that'll drive your nail into whatever surface you're working on. So there's a lot of different benefits for this. It's safer, so you're less likely that you're gonna hit your hand. Safer for whatever materials you're working with. So if you miss with the hammer, you're not going through your wall or any other surface that you're working with. But it also just gives you a little bit more leverage and a little bit more room to work with, depending on if you have a weird angle and you can't swing a hammer at whatever you're looking for. But if you extended it out a little bit, it would give you more room to work with. So that's the Nailed It tool. And then normally we talk about tools on Product Rundown, but every professional sometimes has to go out there in the world and look like a professional. And so in that same vein, we have another product from Pick Punch. They manufacture a wide variety of different punches that can go through different material, any kind of plastic material. Now, as it's called Pick Punch, their primary tool is actually for guitar picks, and you can turn credit cards, old ID cards, any hard plastic surface into a pick, and several different varieties. Now, for Product Rundown, we actually wanted to feature another one that they have designed. This one is for ColorStays. It's the same idea. It's any kind of hard plastic surface. Credit cards seem to be the easiest to come up with, but there's a wide variety out there of different kinds of materials you can use, as long as it has enough integrity that it's not going to bend and can be used as kind of a hard plastic item. So this is for ColorStays, so you can manufacture your own, come up with different designs if you want to, or it's just a good way to use some materials that you can't use for other things. So from Pick Punch, this is the ColorStay punch. And then for any pro who's ever had to take a door off its hinges or work with some antique furniture that might have had screws in there that hadn't been used in a long time, anytime there's a stripped wood hole, this is something that Screw It Again, yes, that's its name, can be used for. So Screw It Again from the Screw It Again company is basically a wood anchor that has some unique qualities to it. So what you do is that depending on how deep the hole is, how large the screw is that you're going to be using, you can actually break off the anchor at different areas, so you don't have to use the entire thing. And if you have a smaller job later on that you can use what you have left, you can kind of get several uses out of each anchor, depending on what you're using it for. But you break it off, and it basically serves as the connection point for the screw that you're using, filling up the hole that had been stripped before, and still maintaining where it was, because a lot of times when you're using anchors like this, it's on doors or it's on, like I said, furniture, things that you want to reuse the same hole, and it just doesn't make any sense to try and find a different one. So it allows you to do that, and it also gets a lot of use out of each one. So that is Screw It Again. And then for any pros out there, moving from job site to job site, you're always conscious of making sure you're not damaging any property while you're there, to make sure that you're doing as clean of a job as possible. And kind of working in that same vein is the StopClip. So this is a no tools required doorstop that can be just easily removed or replaced on any door. So if you're just there for a day job, it can kind of give you assurance as you're moving in and out. Maybe you're going out to the truck to go get another tool you need. If there's any kind of lots of movement in between doors, it gives you some assurance that you are not damaging anybody's property. It just gives you some kind of peace of mind. So the StopClip comes in two different sizes, one designed more for interior doors, and then another one that's slightly larger for your front door, your back door, your garage door. So two different sizes, but no tools required. You just squeeze it to kind of allow for a little bit more room. It fastens onto the door, and you can kind of go about your business. It can also be used if, for whatever reason, you have a door that you want to keep from being closed. It can be reversed. You put it up on the top edge of a doorway. It will do the same purpose of making sure that a door does not swing all the way closed. So if you have pipes or hoses that you're running in and out and you don't want them getting them pinched, it can also be used for that. So that's the StopClip for our professionals. So that's another product rundown video with hardware retailing. Today focusing on some tools that we thought professional tradespeople would really find useful, whether it is just a professional quality tool, something that makes hammering a nail a little bit easier, or just looking good. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.